welcome back to The Right Perspective.
Mhm.
You know, today we're going to look at something pretty interesting.
Okay.
An election win
Hmm.
where the victor has already served a term.
Hmm.
You know, only one other U.S. president's ever done that,
Right.
Grover Cleveland, way back when.
Yep.
But we're not talking about just any victory here.
No.
We're going deep on Trump's win.
Okay.
And our source, Michael Knowles, he is just ecstatic about it.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to unpack not just the win itself,
Right.
but all the reasons why Knowles believes it's such a big deal. You know?
So let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, what really stands out to me is just how big this win is.
Right.
You know, Trump won the Electoral College.
Right.
And it looks like he took the popular vote, too,
Mm.
which is
A big deal.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
A Republican hasn't done that since 2004.
Right.
This isn't just like, you know, a narrow victory. This is
A statement.
a statement from the American people.
And Knowles, he really doesn't hold back on what he thinks that statement is.
No, he does not.
It's complete rejection of Democratic policies.
Mm-hmm.
He even uses terms like terrible
Wow.
and universally hated to describe them.
Huh.
He brings up all these examples like parents, you know, fighting back against school boards or folks in rural areas
Right.
feeling completely ignored by the coastal elites.
Yeah, and that's where the language gets really interesting.
Right.
You know, he uses words like garbage,
Wow.
deplorables,
Ooh.
irredeemables.
Well,
You know, to talk about people who oppose Trump, it
mhm.
really shows you just how divided things are. It's not just like people have different opinions.
Yeah.
Like they have completely different values,
Yeah.
different ways of seeing the world.
And then Knowles brings up something I wasn't expecting.
Okay.
Religion.
Mm.
He talks a lot about God and faith. Points out how Trump used religious imagery all through his campaign. Well, he mentions Trump saying it's All Saints' Day.
Hmm.
You know, something I don't ever remember another president doing.
Interesting.
And Knowles talks about how Trump shared the St. Michael prayer
Okay.
and images of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Uh,
So it's interesting how he ties all this religious stuff
yeah.
to that very real threat Trump faced.
You mean the assassination attempt?
Exactly. The
Yeah.
one in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Right.
It's almost like he's using that event
To do what?
to really underline how serious everything was.
Okay.
And he kind of positions Trump almost as a divinely protected figure,
Mm.
someone who, you know, persevered against all odds. It's like he's saying Trump is more than a politician.
Oh, wow.
He's a leader chosen by a higher power.
Mm.
He even goes so far as to call him a
What?
world historic figure.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Right. It makes you wonder what makes someone world historic.
Yeah. What are the criteria for that?
What does it really take?
Good question for our listeners out there. What parts of this analysis really resonate with you?
Yeah.
Anything stand out as particularly insightful or maybe even surprising?
Let us know your thoughts down in the comments on the Right Perspective channel.
Yeah. And while you're there, check out some of our other deep dives, too.
Yeah, we cover all sorts of fascinating topics.
Absolutely.
Always trying to spark your curiosity and get you thinking.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So the religious angle is really interesting,
Mhm.
but Knowles doesn't really talk about what this win means for actual policies.
Okay.
He keeps saying generational win,
Right.
but what does that even mean in real life? Like,
Yeah.
what could it mean for people listening?
Yeah.
Think about education. All these parents have been pushing for more control.
Okay.
Or the economy,
Yeah.
especially in those rural areas Knowles mentioned, the ones that feel left behind.
Right.
Could this win actually change things in those areas?
Knowles also makes this really interesting comparison
Oh, yeah.
between Trump and Grover Cleveland.
Right, the only other president to get those non-consecutive terms.
Exactly.
He definitely sees that historical connection, but he points out that Trump faced way more challenges.
Like what?
He says Trump was nearly imprisoned 4 times and nearly murdered twice.
Wow.
It's like he's painting this picture of Trump as
Wow.
this relentless fighter
Yeah.
battling against impossible odds.
That kind of goes back to that David and Goliath idea we were talking about before.
Exactly.
So it's like Knowles is saying this win isn't just about policies.
No.
It's about resilience, about someone standing up for what they believe in,
Yeah.
no matter what.
And he connects that resilience back to the people,
Okay.
the ones who felt ignored and forgotten.
Right.
He talks about how the elites dismissed Trump supporters,
Mm.
called them garbage and deplorables.
Wow. Garbage.
Yeah,
That's harsh.
it is.
But in the end, it was their votes that decided this election.
That's true.
I don't know, does that resonate with you?
Yeah.
With calling people garbage.
Oh.
I mean, is that how you see the other side? Or does it seem a bit extreme?
It's definitely strong language.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how that kind of talk affects our politics.
Right. Are we just digging ourselves deeper into these us versus them stories?
What seems like Knowles thinks this win is about more than just Trump.
Yeah, he keeps talking about a movement.
The MAGA movement.
Exactly.
And what does he say that movement is about?
Well, he describes it as putting America first,
Okay.
bringing back traditional values, resisting what he calls a globalist agenda.
So for folks who aren't familiar with that term,
Right.
what does that globalist agenda actually mean?
Well, this movement sees it as a threat
Okay.
to our country's independence and our traditional way of life.
So it's like a mix of nationalism and populism and social conservatism.
Yeah, something like that.
It's clearly connected with a lot of people,
Definitely.
but it's also been pretty divisive.
Right.
Some see it as exclusionary, even dangerous.
It's complicated.
What are your thoughts?
Well, on the movement.
Yeah. Did it affect how you voted?
I think it's important to understand why people support this movement,
Okay.
even if we don't agree with everything.
Right.
Their worries and fears are real. We have to acknowledge that if we want to have any kind of real conversation.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Just ignoring or attacking people we disagree with doesn't help anyone.
Exactly.
To really understand each other, we need to have empathy.
Right.
And be willing to listen to different viewpoints.
Yeah, even when they challenge our own.
And that's what we try to do here on The Right Perspective.
Exactly.
Create a space for open and honest conversation, even about tough issues.
Speaking of tough issues,
Yeah.
if you're enjoying this deep dive, be sure to check out the Right Perspective channel.
Yeah.
We've got tons of thought-provoking content just waiting for you.
All designed to help you understand the world a little bit better.
That's our goal.
So back to Knowles' analysis. He really emphasizes Trump's resilience.
Right.
He points out all the stuff Trump has faced,
Right.
the impeachment attempts,
Right.
the constant media scrutiny,
Yeah.
and of course the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania.
He really paints Trump as someone who can handle anything.
Yeah.
That image of strength and resilience clearly connects with his supporters,
Right.
reinforces that idea of him being a fighter.
Yeah, someone who won't back down.
Exactly.
It's like a modern-day David versus Goliath story,
I can see that.
with Trump as the underdog who wins.
Against all odds.
Exactly. It's like Knowles is saying this victory isn't just political.
It's personal.
Yeah, a testament to Trump's never-give-up attitude.
And he ties that back to faith.
Okay.
How Trump used religious imagery and language throughout the campaign.
Right.
He even connects it to the assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Like, Trump's survival was almost a miracle.
It's a powerful way to tell the story.
It is.
Makes Trump seem like more than just a politician.
Right.
He's a man of destiny, maybe even protected by a higher power.
It's a powerful message for people who share those beliefs.
Yeah, it creates this feeling of shared purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like this win is about more than just politics. It's a spiritual victory.
It definitely raises some interesting questions.
Like what?
About how faith and politics mix.
Right.
How much influence should religious beliefs have in public life?
Hmm.
Is it okay to talk about political wins using religious language?
Those are tough questions.
Yeah, no easy answers.
It also shows how hard it is to deal with a diverse society.
Right.
Where everyone has different values and beliefs.
Yeah.
How do we even talk to each other when we disagree about so much?
It's a challenge.
And that's what makes these deep dives so interesting.
Exactly.
They're not just about one event or issue. They're about digging into the bigger questions.
Right. The implications.
Absolutely.
It's about having thoughtful conversations.
Right.
To help us understand this crazy world.
And speaking of engaging conversations, so if you're enjoying this deep dive and you want more thought-provoking content,
Oh, yeah.
head over to the Right Perspective channel.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got a whole library of deep dives waiting for you.
All kinds of stuff to get you thinking.
So as we wrap up our look at Knowles' analysis,
Okay.
let's go back to something we talked about before,
What's that?
the potential long-term impacts of this victory.
Right. Right.
Knowles doesn't really give us specific policy predictions.
Yeah. He's not laying out a roadmap.
But he does keep talking about a generational win.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
What could that even mean for the future?
Yeah, what kind of lasting changes could this win bring?
It's pretty exciting to think about.
It is.
Could this shift the balance of power?
In Washington.
Yeah, not just in Washington,
Okay.
but in our communities too.
Interesting.
Could it change how we approach things like education?
Healthcare.
Yeah, even the role of government itself.
Those are big questions.
Huge. And the answers are probably going to take a while to play out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things unfold.
And as we see those changes happen, it's super important to talk about them in a smart way.
Right.
We need to move past those simple us versus them stories.
Yeah, those don't help.
And really grapple with how complicated these issues are.
We'd have to be willing to listen to different perspectives.
Even when they challenge what we believe deep down.
That's how we grow.
That's so true. Real progress only comes from respectful dialogue.
Absolutely.
And a real desire to understand each other.
Even when we don't see eye to eye.
And that's what we're all about here on The Right Perspective.
Right. Creating a space for that kind of dialogue.
Yeah, we believe that by having these conversations, we can build bridges.
Find common ground.
Yeah, and create a more informed and engaged citizenry.
That's the goal.
Knowles' analysis has definitely given us a lot to think about.
It has.
From those historical comparisons to the role of religion.
Right, and the impact of all that divisive rhetoric.
This election victory has brought up so many questions and possibilities.
It really has.
So as you go from here, I encourage you to think about what really resonated with you.
From Knowles' perspective.
Yeah. What surprised you? What questions are still unanswered?
And how do you see this victory shaping our country's future?
As you think about those things, remember that your voice matters.
Yeah.
Get involved in those conversations. Share your thoughts.
Contribute to the dialogue about the future we want to build.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive on the Right Perspective channel.
We hope you enjoyed exploring these ideas with us.
And we encourage you to visit the Right Perspective channel
for more thought-provoking content.
We're always here to help you dive deeper into the issues that matter most.